1994, the world is controlled by one power. The Apple is success.
There ain't no pride, there ain't no shame, there ain't no sympathy, there ain't no blame, there ain't no pleasure, there ain't
The Apple brings you everything.
What about happiness?
Child of love, show me, tell me.
I wanted to release Bibi from a contract.
Yes.
Where is she?
I stand alone. I stand alone. Cry for me.
The Apple is the temptation. The Apple is the experience.
Take the apple. Whoa! Praise the apple. Whoa! Yeah, 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 yeah.
The Apple is the forbidden fruit.
Come and take me and shape me and mold me and make me and fill me up with your fire. Come do anything to me your little heart desires. I've never been so high in my life.
Bibi, I must see you. I gotta talk to you.
The Apple takes your soul.
New York out to LA, everybody does it her way. Popping power by the hour. Speed, I can feel the earth start quaking when America starts shaking. Popping power by the hour. Speed, speed.
Now, a special experience in movie-going entertainment. The Apple.
Hi, this is Sam,
And this is Becca.
and welcome to BNS About Movies. Today we're going to watch The Apple, which is, I can't describe it. It's like Adam and Eve meets disco. Yeah, Adam and Eve meets disco, and it's a musical, and everybody has camel toe.
Yeah.
So that's my description. We're joined by two guests this week. It's pretty exciting.
We don't get letters or comments, but we have guests.
You're our first two guests we've ever had on this podcast. So Devin and Pat are with us. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. So, do you have any questions you'd like to ask them before we begin? Or should they tell everybody how they know us?
Yeah, they can tell how they know us.
Okay. Well, I've known Becca since
What
my...
birthday was it? I was just
It
trying
was
to
my
think about that.
22nd birthday,
Jesus.
2007, at the bar in Southside, which I don't think is there anymore.
No.
It's not there anymore. But we met that night, and then we started going to... Oh, what was the name of that place? Is that
Z
bar?
Lounge?
Z Lounge.
Yes.
Like every night of the week for a couple years. And then we switched to D's because it
When
was
we were
cheaper.
luscious.
Because it was cheaper to go to D's for like a $5 pitcher of beer and, Pat
And we-
smokes, and that was our night.
But we spent the rest of the money on the jukebox.
Yes, we spent more money on the jukebox than we
Than the
ever did.
drinks, yeah.
Than we ever did on the beers there.
Mhm.
But yeah, we met then, and along the line came Patrick, and then came Sam, and here we are.
Yeah. And the first night I met Becca, it
Was at D's?
was at D's, and I was too shy to talk to her, so I talked to Pat most of the night.
Mhm.
And Pat would say, "Oh, did you hear what Sam said? He said something funny," and then he would like move it over. Also, they're both Becca and
Sam was Pat was the mediator.
and also Becca and Devin are both in their early 30s and both married 44-year-old men.
Very early 30s.
Very early
Very
30s,
early.
and both married
Very.
44-year-old men from pretty much the same geographic
That were born
section
in
of
July.
from
Not a
Western PA, Eastern Ohio,
Yeah.
Mahoning County.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to read The Vindicator and dream of finding people like you.
I don't remember because we were playing a lot. Maybe I said we need some Mahoning County men.
Do you remember the Vindicator song, Pat?
The Vindicator song.
Yeah, the Vindicator's got its eye on you.
No, I don't
What's the
remember that.
Vindicator?
It's the newspaper in Youngstown.
Do you remember I'm a friend of Elsie?
No, the one I do remember from KBN was Remnant Room. It was like, Remnant Room, we've got deals for you.
I forget what the other one was. I was singing at the back of the night.
Hills?
Not in, but across from the Eastwood Mall.
Oh, yeah, yes, I remember that one. Everybody,
a furniture store.
Was it Steinman's or something?
I can't remember.
Oh.
Probably, it sounds like it.
Probably somebody that got murdered by the mob.
Everybody in Pittsburgh just knows Minutes from the Mall. But
Minutes from my balls.
you know what? It's a shitty song, but everybody remembers it. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting here with Ange, and Lola the cat is loose. Ange just ate goat cheese.
And Lola eats,
And a
she
big
is the thing for
sausage.
plastic flowers.
And we're getting ready to watch The Apple.
Tell us about the apple.
Man, okay.
Who was it directed by?
In the
Who wrote it?
beginning.
It's written by Mahain Globin, one of the Globin cousins that started Canon Films. It's the only movie he ever directed, and it was his dream to make it. During the first showing of it, people threw records at the screen and tore the screen down because it's so bad and booed him off the stage at the Cannes Film Festival. So he never directed another film. He just produced movies after this.
Well, do you think because around the same time Tommy and things of like that were coming out?
This came out like 10 years after Tommy.
But he had seen all the hype about that kind of stuff. And
It was originally written by a rock star who was trying to make a stage play of it. And then that guy from Dancing with the Stars got involved. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. So that guy just dropped out because he didn't understand the movie anymore.
Yeah.
They said that both the Globins didn't understand how human beings interacted. Mm-hmm. So he really thought that this is how hippies were and how the world was.
Oh.
So these guys haven't seen it yet. I've seen this movie a couple times. So
I know.
I got this movie in the shittiest, smallest video store in McKeesport. Why it was in this store, I have no idea. I've been looking
Where did we get it at that game one?
Yeah, it's like a used video game store.
Tell about the people that go in there.
Well, the guy that owns the store is like the meanest dude. He's just always surly. And this guy's in the store and he goes, this guy walks in on his bike, goes, "Can I put my bike here?" "Can't put your fucking bike here." And the guy's like, I just want to put...
It's actually in White Oak. Do you know where that White Oak Lounge is? Like the Twin Oaks Lounge?
I know where White Oak is, but I've never... I can't say I've been to that White
It's in
Oak
the same
Lounge.
shopping plaza. You should go there. There's the most screwed up, it's not even a dollar store. It's called World of Values.
Yeah.
And they have 10-year-old candy in there. They have
A whole aisle of nutcrackers with Penguins
brooms. They
logos.
have, it's the weirdest store, and it was a grocery store, I think, at one point, the building. So it's that big.
So if I need a discount broom in Salmonella, I know where to go.
Exactly.
They all-
They have, put it this way,
There's
they
a-
have a section in the back that's wedding stuff and pre-made fake flowers that haven't been touched in 10 years.
Also,
Maybe longer. So 1985, 87, floral arrangements. With the gold and the mauve.
also the guy that
So
runs...
I'd love it.
Yeah.
The guy that works in the appliance department there, because they do have appliances, is a midget. And little person.
No, remember the racist bus driver?
That's
too?
who that's who it is.
Oh.
He works there, and he's a bus driver, and he was talking about...
He's a little person.
Yeah, and he was talking about... But he's as wide as... just broad-shouldered, but tiny. And he goes, yeah.
Sam and I were looking through their books one time. We overheard this whole conversation.
And we just couldn't stop listening to it. And he's like, you know what I do? Those kids give me grief. And I find the toughest one of them every year. And I just roll them up against the bus, and I just beat the shit out of them.
He told us that!
And
And I was
fourth graders. He goes, and those kids, I'll tell you what, 5th, 6th grade, they're starting to get strong enough, they might be able to take me. But I teach them a lesson. And all the teachers should do that. They should roll those kids down on the ground and just lay a few elbows in. And I have no idea what this guy looks like. I turn around the corner, he's like a mullet, and he's about, this is radio, so my hand is barely, it's like this tall. And just
So we're talking Game of Thrones.
yes,
Small man.
yes.
Wow.
Beating up kids on a bus at
Good
night.
for him.
At night, working at World of Values.
Yeah.
Good for him. Those little kids need their asses beat.
But so the guy in the video store. The guy brought his bike in. He goes, "You won't believe the day I'm having." He goes, "I don't care. I honestly don't give a shit about your life. And the guy's like, well, it's been really bad and it's just getting worse. Yeah, that's how it usually goes.
And he's so mean to everyone. He's nice to us because we're normal. But, like, everybody that goes in there, we were in there a couple days ago, there were 2 lesbians in there that
Buying
are into
video
games.
If you-
Telling him about every new video game coming out, and he was just like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you played Mirror's Edge yet? Nope. Have you played? Nope. Like you wouldn't
He
let
wouldn't even let
him
him finish. And, like, they're all, like, dressed up like they had bandanas on, all kinds of
They were
stuff,
driving a
Hot
Subaru.
Topic, like, it was just...
I read an article. Subaru actually marketed to lesbians.
Oh,
They
yeah,
definitely did.
They market.
They had that market cornered.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knew.
That's why we always yell at Amy, because she wanted one, remember?
Because they had an ad, and it was like
So if you
in
get one of those, you have to get a girlfriend, too.
it was like in '94, I think, before you could really, people get really upset.
I got one.
And they had the license plate on the car was Xenofan on the license plate.
Xenofan, because that one girl was gay on Xena.
Yeah, so that was their and they had a lot of key code stuff in it. And they literally talked about that was an audience that no one went for, and their CEO wouldn't let them go directly after it yet until times changed. But they talked about that's their biggest audience. There's just an article on Adweek about it.
What's so funny, it used to be Subarus were synonymous with,
Outdoors.
scissoring. And, that day has changed now, all of Middle America, they want themselves a Subi.
Yeah.
And it's, it's great. They've, started with the Scissor Sisters and moved up to,
I
everybody.
read an article online that someone wrote that said scissoring does not exist.
I wouldn't know.
No. I wasn't asking, but okay. But I ask a gay person.
Just tell us.
Tell us, is scissoring real?
Tell us of scissoring.
I don't believe in it.
I don't believe in it. I tried it with Becca and it didn't work at all. I just got chafed.
Yeah. I got poked.
If by scissoring you mean cutting along the dotted line, then yes, that does exist. I'm all about boundaries.
There's nobody, I think, in this movie that ever did anything else.
Well, not that Pat might know this movie. I don't know if Devin would. You know Last Starfighter?
Oh, yeah. The girl from Last Starfighter.
Do you remember? It's the one, it's from the 80s where he wins at the video game. And he actually
Vaguely.
goes to space. They come down and get him because he's playing a video game in a trailer park.
He goes to space, does it turn into black and white?
No.
No, that's Wizard of Oz.
But if you saw it, it's with Lance Guest. It was a big kids movie back then. I mean, you might have
Becca's
been.
watched it a lot.
I mean, if I was that young, you were probably 10 when it came out. 10 or 12.
This is a game. Do you guys play this game where I'll say something like, "Oh, I remember when that happened, when I was 26.
And I go, I wasn't born yet.
I was, because I was telling her something about my first year in Addie's, and she goes, I was in first grade, and then I just feel like a complete scumbag.
No, usually whenever he talks about things that happened in the past, I'm, kind of, very intrigued by them because his life growing up was very different than mine, and I always want to be like, oh, well, you were out, I don't know, pissing on your neighbor's doors and, not getting caught by police. I was sitting at home not being emotionally abused. So, very different. But I'm excited to watch this movie. The Book of Genesis is my favorite book of the Bible. The only book of it I've read multiple times. So I'm excited to see this interpretation of Adam and Eve. I hope it's a good one.
A lot of people wear stickers on their faces in this movie.
And
Good.
stickers were very big.
Yeah. BIM stickers.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
On the
I
third
was trying
day...
to show him the cover of Last Starfighter.
Oh.
But it's on that one with Battle.
I was just going to say, on the third day, God did give us stickers.
Stickers.
Give us stickers. And then Adam and Eve put them on their faces.
It was on one of those 4 ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it is, but
Wow.
I know what I mean.
We'll watch it, and then he'll see her, and he'll be like, oh, yeah, the girl from Last Starfighter.
She played his girlfriend. She was the love interest of the whole movie.
Gina did.
No. I wish.
Gina Davis.
I'm
Huh?
just throwing it out there.
Gina Davis?
Yeah.
Remember when she had her own show and she was the president?
That happened?
Yeah.
Was
She had
on
her own.
CBS.
She had her own. Yeah, she had her own sitcom too. The Gina Davis show lasted like 6 weeks.
I just remember her from The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah,
That was some good shit.
where she asked Samuel Jackson if he wanted a blowjob.
Well, who didn't?
That's my favorite scene. 'Cause he's like, "We're gonna get you home to your kids," and she's like, "You want a blowjob?"
And then she dyed her hair and put on all that.
Yes.
That was when
Her transformation was my favorite in that movie. I wanted to be her.
That's when Revlon did that streetwear makeup and everything was blue and purple and gold, and she had it all over her
What are you
face.
drinking for this episode? We should say.
New Belgium Heavy Melon.
What are you guys drinking?
I think more Moscato.
See what we try to do is we like tweet out
One
whenever we
person
post an
hears that.
episode.
We might get free beer if we want.
Yeah, so we tweet out the different beer companies that would drink their beer,
Yeah.
and then all they do is like our post or like.
We've yet to receive any freebies.
And we ask for free stuff, but we haven't got anything yet.
We were drinking Louis Jadot Chardonnay.
You know what though?
Lots of it.
I want some more furniture, so we should give a shout out to
bougie.
Value City. We're currently
VCF.
sitting on Value City couches. They're luxurious.
Do you know why Value City Furniture is awesome? Because Value City died, and Value City Furniture was like, yeah, fuck it, we'll stick around.
Right.
Like, I thought,
The
shit, Value City-
combination, it's of, I think that they have white and black people decorations in there.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
Perfect
very
mix.
culturally diverse. Thank you, Jay Schottenstein,
Yeah.
for keeping Value City alive.
What's the name of the other one? Bob's? Is that the other one?
Bob's Discount, that is a completely
Bob's.
black furniture store.
Their furniture's awful, but they do have decent beds.
And they have dinosaur.
That's a
There's dinosaur people and like the weird animal statues. Have you seen
Like
those?
there's
Yes.
giant giraffes.
Initially, I thought I
Every-
died and went to a trailer park. But
Everything
no, I was
has-
at Bob's Furniture.
We
Everything
have
has neon on
we have
it.
a horror Bob's Furniture horror story. The second week of the football season, we went and we
It
were
was
looking
right
at
after
stuff.
all the Michael Vick stuff,
And Michael Vick had just started playing for the Steelers.
and I was so upset.
So
'Cause I still hope, even though, you know, he's supposedly better, I still hope someone shoots him in the head.
And so we're riding the elevator up, and this lady was like older, black lady, seemed kind of nice, heavier. We're riding up in the elevator. She goes, "Did you guys watch Steelers game today?" Well, I was like, "Not just a Steelers game until they get rid of that asshole Michael Vick." And she goes, "You got a problem with Michael Vick?" And I was like, in the elevator, I'm like hitting the buttons and trying to get out of there because I know she was like, she's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna watch a fucking game he plays. You got a problem with him?" "Yeah, I got a problem with him." And I'm like, "I just want to look at ornaments."
I think with this little black grandma.
And like so we went down the steps and the lady's like, "Goodbye," and she's like, "We're not coming back," and I'm like, "Ah." Then we went to Value City Furniture and everything was okay.
There you go.
Do you remember Value City used to have a wheel on the front of the store if you bought stuff?
Oh yeah, you can spin it.
You'd spin a roulette wheel.
No.
Yeah, and
They
like
did.
you could get up to 90% off your already.
Sounds like the North Park Lounge.
Yeah.
We used to go to the one in Toledo. Because
See,
there was no Value Cities in Michigan, so for school clothes we would go to Ohio and go to the Toledo one.
See, in my hometown, we didn't really have stores.
No, you don't.
Um,
Is there a more exciting part of Clearfield that I'm missing?
No, you go to
That's
the Walmart.
it.
That's the exciting part.
I think it
What
cleared.
else is there? Anything?
Nothing. There's
Oh
a
my
river.
God.
There's a river.
How did,
I think
how
it,
did someone so articulate and worldly come from that place?
You know what? I don't really know.
I think of it as St. Olaf, like St. Olaf from the Golden
you've seen it,
Girls.
there's
When
no
Betty White
there.
talks about her hometown, that's how I always think when you tell
He
us
must
about
have read
Clearfield.
Yeah, it's insane.
He was the culture in Clearfield. He was on the radio. He was the window to the world.
No, I think according to everybody that I grew up with, they thought I was like the stuck up faggot who like, just really wanted nothing to do with any of them. And
They were
in a
right.
way, it was kind of true. But you know, I just really wanted the H out of there.
Yeah.
And you know, I left and I never really went back. But
I like how you didn't say hell, but you...
The HE double hockey sticks.
the HE double hockey. No, I do remember in my hometown there was a furniture store. I think it was called Furniture. It was like a family that had them. And I think one of their daughters killed a girl.
Killed a girl?
One of their daughters, I think, hung this girl over the hill from where I grew up. It was.
Hey, it's not funny.
I mean, it's
It
like
really
they kill a
wasn't. It was.
mockingbird.
But it was. At Gallows Harbor, actually. Long story.
Yeah. She hung a girl.
Well, a bunch of them, and I think she works at the Walmart now.
Like,
Was she like a girl serial killer?
Well, no, they killed this girl.
But you said a couple of them.
There was a bunch of people.
Oh, a bunch of people killed the girl.
Yes.
So it was like the
Yes.
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
But anyhow, her last name was Wolf. I think she works at the Walmart now, so you may see.
You told me the story. It
And
was
I
like...
beat her.
you could be working with a killer.
Oh, God,
Right
I have
over
to
the hill.
interview her.
Right
it
over
was
the
like
hill.
she was going to tell on them for something.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Something
They
like
didn't
they
want
were
to get in
smoking
trouble.
weed, and they didn't want to
so
get in
they
trouble.
went that far.
So they
They were
hung
crazy.
her.
Did
And
anything
this-
ever happen to them?
Yeah, they all went to jail, and then they got out, and they all
Were
worked
they
at
tried as
Walmart.
minors?
Some of them were older. Some of them were like in their 20s. But long story short, right over the hill from where I grew up, there's this little area called Gallows Harbor right by the river, and that's where they used to have the hangings in the little area. So they thought it'd be really funny to get all jacked up on crank and hang and bludgeon her head in with a rock. I was in 6th grade when this happened.
This sounds like
What?
This sounds like
Why has that 48 hours done this
The
episode?
most activity my little area of the woods ever got. There were helicopters. There were helicopters,
Did
news
they get there and
stations.
say our phones don't work?
Well, we didn't have, they still don't have internet
I
up
told
there.
him when you used to go up there for Christmas and stuff, this was even before you, Devin would be like, I won't be able to talk to you for about a week.
Yeah,
Well,
they,
I have no phone.
they don't have
There's
cell
no
service.
She goes, I'll call you when I get back in the area. Like he was going off to wars.
nothing
My
in here.
parents have to get their internet through a satellite. A satellite dish.
Yeah.
They can't even get it through the phone.
No. Well, my parents can't actually get cable. There's no cable lines there, so they have to use a satellite. Or if they just use their antenna, which I think it's still up, actually. It's a huge thing. And they
One of
get
those
Channel
giant
10,
ones.
Channel 3, which is the PBS. And then every once in a while, if the moon's in the right retrograde, they can get Channel 6, which is an NBC.
So you're completely cut off out there.
Oh, it was hell. But,
That's probably
but
why all the
fantastic. It was
old
kind of
men-
cool.
That's the store all the old men talk to me in because they've never seen a girl before. Like,
You should
there's
say,
no-
hey, is it true that a girl was killed here?
I should ask around.
I don't know.
No, I wouldn't
Well,
ask you.
I don't want to
You're
say
gonna
names, but I think I
Oh.
did.
Yeah,
Oh, you want me to put a little sensor sound on him?
Yes.
he can.
Okay, I'll just do a little, like,
He'll do a bleep when you
Do a
listen to
bleep.
it. You'll
Put it
hear
over the R word, too. I don't want to say the R word on...
oh, yeah.
I don't want to say that on...
challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll edit out anybody that says
Edit it out and use your voice.
Yeah, I'll be like, he'll be like, I don't want to say the word. Now I have to beep that, so it's not funny, because I beeped that, too. This is going to have a lot of production
I know.
in this episode. And I'll do what I always do. Like, oh, I'll edit that out, then I forget to
He
do it.
forgets. He called. The
No.
she'll edit it out.
No,
Oh my god.
no.
No, Ferguson.
Keep an eye
Don't
on
say
this
that.
one. On that note, I think
When you did that, though, didn't you, like, mumble it, and that's why I yelled at you?
I mumbled it, and you said, what did you say? And then I said it clean. And then you called me, and you're like, you should have edited that off. I'm like, you told me to say
In
it.
case that person listens to it.
Well, now they're going to hear it and wonder who
When
it
you
is.
pause it, I'll tell everyone when it...
There's a lot of mystery in this episode of BNS About Movies.
Yeah, if you want to find out more mystery, you have to come to a podcast with us.
This is
Be here
exciting
for
to have guests.
I know.
Especially ones that bring
We should
stories.
just show up at people's houses.
How long have
That's
you
how
guys
we're
been
gonna
doing
get
the
guests.
podcast?
This will be like episode
months.
26 or 27.
Sweet baby Jay.
Because we started
They
doing
all
the OJ
sound like
one.
this. You have to listen to them.
Ah.
They're fun.
Because we did like all 10 episodes of the
That
people.
series was good. It brought me back.
Yeah.
I really
Some of
enjoyed
it
it.
was so bad, though.
What's up?
The people versus
The
OJ
OJ.
Simpson.
Oh. Yeah.
Because here's my favorite part about it is like it turned into the Kardashian story for like 3 episodes.
Well,
you never
this is
heard
what I have
back
to
in
say.
the day when you were younger and that happened. Do you ever remember hearing about Kim Kardashian or Khloe Kardashian?
Like that, it was like the second episode. They,
I
OJ was
remember
hiding out in
making fun of
Kim's
the
room.
one-
Yeah, and there are all the posters up. And
Oh, please don't
In her
kill
hair.
yourself in Kimmy's room. Get the hell out of here. Go back to Friends.
I like when he was like, Uncle Juice. Nobody would think Uncle Juice would do that.
Will this scare you guys if I do it right here?
No.
My mom does.
Pat's
all
doing
the time.
heroin right now.
Wow.
No, he's doing
He's
his
doing
insulin.
insulin.
He's doing insulin.
Harder than heroin.
That's right.
He's
Probably
like,
twice as expensive, too.
Cut down the sugar.
he's got his Lantus. Is that
Yeah, you should probably
Lantus?
just-
What do you?
No, this is the
It's Levamere.
Levamere.
Levamere. This is
Shout out to
Levamere.
Levamere. So that's some free Levamere.
Well, Lantis.
Our addresses.
Lantis, I think, is a competitor of Levamere.
Yeah, because my dad uses Lantus. That's why
I
I
have
know.
the Levamere and I have a Humalog.
I've seen Humalog. I used to use Humalog back in high
That's
school.
how you know we're old. We're discussing prescriptions.
That's right. And yes, Levamere.
Instead of where
10
we can
units a
get them.
day. Patrick uses. And you know what? We do have insurance and we do pay for it. But, if you Free samples would be wonderful.
I do have to
also,
say-
shout out to Humalog. Humalog, that's his.
Who would you like to plug?
His strips.
This one we definitely need because this shit is expensive.
One day.
One Touch
One
Ultra.
Touch, yeah.
Wonderful strips to test your blood. Are you low? How do you know? Use One Touch strips, and you'll find it out. And then you'll want to drink your juice, Shelby.
That brings up something funny. A couple weeks ago at work, I was testing myself, and my manager came over and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, I'm a little high right now." He's like, "Why don't we change that up?"
Pat is, I will say, and I mean this is a compliment, the best diabetic I've ever met.
Oh my goodness.
You should see this person.
You should. He carries
Wallet,
his purse.
he carries around.
They gave him this purse, and he said, "I'm never going to get rid of it."
His endocrinologist calls him her ideal patient because he's so diligent. He has the perfect A1C.
What's that?
It's a 6.
6?
Yeah.
No, but what's the
It's
A1C?
the average blood sugar for a 90-day period.
Yes.
Oh.
And it's on a scale of...
Mine's probably called fat.
He's really good. Because when my dad first got diabetic, he's like, "I don't need that stuff." And then he'd be laying in the corner of my bed, "Get your dad some juice."
Should we all check our blood?
No.
I think it'd be really fun. I bet I'm the lowest.
Everybody gets a prize. We'll
Whoever has the lowest blood sugar.
That sounds like a drinking game. Whoever has the lowest sugar, everybody else has to drink. And then the person with the lowest just stays low because all the
Yeah.
carbs from the drinks come in.
That's right. I'm always actually pretty low. I'm pretty good at this game.
My
I
favorite
will
drinking
win.
game is Thunderstruck. Have you ever played that?
No, but I like AC/DC.
So you play the song Thunderstruck, and then you drink, and when he doesn't say it again, you wait, and then when he says it again, you drink. So there's times in the song where he doesn't say Thunderstruck for a good minute, so if you get caught on the wrong side of it, you just have to keep drinking. Until he
That's a
says
whole minute.
until he says
No, but then
Thunderstruck.
he says,
You
Thunder! Thunder!
And you're like waiting for him to say Thunderstruck, but he doesn't. And he just fucks with you. If you're on the right side of Thunderstruck.
I think that song came out when I was a junior, maybe a senior.
Yeah.
Devin and I weren't born yet.
You guys were born.
No,
were 3
I
and
was
2.
in kindergarten whenever
Yeah.
he was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
We-
pedophiles.
I like whenever I hear a song and I'm like, oh. You know what's funny? You just said pedophile and the Xbox lit up. It was down.
Pedophile!
It said it has Code Adam built into it, so
Oh.
it catches people.
Last time we saw this really great, what was that, 2020 or...
JC
The
Dugard.
JC Dugard.
We watched it
We
this
watched
morning.
this
So
morning.
good. You know what? I feel very happy for her that she's made so much
Oh,
progress in her
yeah.
life.
The second they asked her
I almost
out,
cried.
he bawled his eyes out.
I feel so happy
And
and,
then-
inspired by
And then
her.
we watched after that those What Would You Do's. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see any of those?
No.
So these
They had the...
guys were trying to get a kid to drink cough syrup.
Oh,
They
and-
were
Yeah.
all around the same age. They had a kid who was like 8 and then 2 kids over 13.
Mm-hmm.
And that robo tripping where they drink the cough syrup to get fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Clearfield.
That was
And
that was the idea behind the scheme. So they were gonna.
They were at
have these
Starbucks
2 kids-
doing
They were
it.
all actors, but they were doing it in front of people to see what people's reactions would be. My baby cried.
this guy came over and he said to this kid, he's like, people used to do it to me all the time as a kid, and I
They
never
film
want
them and they
I
don't
never
know
a lot
these
of friends,
people
and
are
you don't have to
actors.
listen to these guys. Like, it's not going to
He
make you
sat
cool.
down
And he
and
sat down,
bought
he
lunch.
bought the kid lunch and talked to him about it. And then, like, whenever they interviewed the guy, he started crying. He's like, I really went through that stuff. He goes, and I thought the kid really was. I was bawling on the
I
couch.
remember
She came in.
back in. He was covered in tears.
My face was wet.
Oh,
Yeah.
my face is wet.
No, and then tell them about the girl with the pigmented skin.
Yeah, like, people have that, like, pigmented skin. Like, black people
The
get
black
it where...
people wear this white splotches. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called.
uh-huh.
But they had a girl. She was the actress, and she was being a nail technician. So this girl, the girl doing the nails, was the actress. And they had a normal girl who had it, and there's that girl that was on America's Next Top Model. She was the first model to have it too. Like this giant, it almost looks like cow print because they're big
Right.
splotches. So they had these 2 girls go in and get their nails done, and they had the actress on purpose be mean to them and be like, "I'm not doing your nails. I'm not catching that skin disease," So it was up to the people sitting in the booth next to them to step in.
To either jump in or stay out.
Every single one. The one lady even grabbed the other girl's hand and was holding on to her, like telling her it was okay. We were both bawling our eyeballs out.
It was something
I
else.
saw one about bulimia a week or so ago. And it was
What?
about bulimia.
And what were they saying?
These girls were trying to get some other girls to barf at the restaurant. It was great.
All right, well, these guys are going outside, so we're going to start the movie. So come back in a couple minutes.
Way down in old Virginia, 300 years ago, Captain John Smith and Pocahontas shot their meat and aged it slow. They smoked it and they spiced it too, for flavor at its best. Genuine Smithville barbecue surpasses all the rest.
Yes, folks, it's 300 years of tradition and taste you savor when you ask for a Smithfield Barbecue James River brand at our refreshment center. In each flavorful morsel of meat, you can smell the hickory, oak, and applewood and taste the rare herbs and spices required for its cure. Here is truly a fresh new taste from an ancient recipe.
So go for deep down flavor of the Smithfield country kind. Just step right up here, neighbor, find your taste and lose your mind. Yeah!
My wife and I and Pat and Devin just finished watching The Apple. My wife is now drinking. What are you drinking?
Made by Bell's.
Poolside ale.
Bell's in style wheat ale with cherry juice.
And I'm drinking Finn City Blackfin India Pale Ale. It's quite nice. Devin, you're drinking wine still?
Yes. Louis Jadot Chardonnay. I want some.
Give me that.
Give me some of that. So what did you think of The Apple?
Well, you know, I love a good story of, you know, a happy
like
ever
the
after.
The girl hanging better.
You know, I love a good story of, you know, a happy ever after, people moving on to a better place.
Them
But I
flirting with
think
Jesus
I have
in
a
the car.
couple words that could really sum up this show. Actual garbage, pure horseshit, and the worst thing ever made.
My favorite part is whenever one of the big dances is going on, he looked at me and he said, "You realize this choreography is pure shit, right?" I was like, "No, I don't know."
Choreography, if you've noticed, my husband is not a part of his life. So,
I mean, I could wiggle a toe.
right, and do
It
better.
would be, no, granted, it was the premise was great.
Do you like that even the DVD menu has camel toe?
They do.
Well, I do give this movie a 10 on the moose knuckle
Camel
scale. It was everywhere.
I mean, everybody had
Their
camel toe.
seamstress.
Their seamstress.
She liked glitter,
Yeah.
and she liked sequins,
Could you bring in the crotches a little
and she
bit?
liked stickers.
Yes. I want everybody in this cast to have testicular cancer by the end of this show.
It
That
was
was the
made
goal.
like doll clothes. Like, you know,
Mhm.
when you would get a Barbie doll and her clothes would be ill-fitting.
Yes.
That's what this was like.
Whenever I would try to put my Barbie clothes on my Ken doll, they never were quite right.
No.
It was kind of like that.
I also, as someone that has to write lyrics from time to time, these are some of the worst lyrics ever. Juju
just made
apple,
them up.
voodoo
Voodoo
apple,
apple.
boo boo apple, juju apple.
Well, why are the Jews eating the apples to begin with? That's my question.
What it
Leave
had,
my damn apple
Do you
alone.
like the my favorite song's the one that Josh Ackland sings, the old hippie leader.
Yeah.
Be my eyes. And what was the one part they were singing?
Light my way, child of love.
Light my way, child of love.
Shine on me, child of love.
Shine on me, child of
Be
love.
my eyes, child of love.
Be my eyes, child of love.
Help me see, child of love.
Help me see, child of
love.
Something about hair.
No, when he's like, I don't know. Do you think he would be like, when was the last time you sipped Musaka with your lover?
Yes.
Oh, I did like that scene where it was the interracial sex thing. That was really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, the I'm Coming song?
Yeah.
My question is, That lady that the guy lived with, the old lady who was neither Jewish nor Italian nor New Yorker.
I think she was just trying to embody everything.
Every stereotype possible.
America.
I thought it was his mom, and then he grabbed her tits.
You have that, I know.
Yeah,
Yours is a different color,
Yeah,
isn't
mine's
it?
like the one you got me is like goldish. I
Gold,
didn't realize
yeah.
you had the same one.
What, these? We're talking decor?
Yeah, I can't remember.
There's a lot of nice decor and motorcycles in the Apple.
Pat, what did Pat think?
What did I think? I agree with Devin. The music was nice and calming. It made me fall asleep.
He had the best sleep. He was like, Juju Apple.
Juju Apple!
He has his blankie
He has
Here's
and
his
everything.
That's
I think he's
Pat's-
really excited that he's on a couch where he can have a blanket, and I don't yell at him for
That's
moving the blanket.
Pat's new nickname, Juju Apple.
Well, that's offensive. You know, the big Jew apple. I mean,
Big
come on.
Jew Apple.
That's the next best thing to, you know.
I know.
The next thing to what?
You can bleep him out on that too.
Well, it's essentially this
Maybe
thing-
they'll send us stuff.
I don't want what they have to give.
They put a lot of no, they didn't put a lot of anything in this. Literally, the guy directed it.
There's a lot of LeMay.
He
What
almost
are you talking about?
the night after this was booed off the stage at Cannes, he like went up to his room and called everybody, told him he was killing himself. He like talked out of killing himself because he thought he made a movie that was gonna like win Oscars and he said we're gonna.
Really
he was
went
like,
into this a lot.
the guy who originally wrote the play, we wrote it for a stage play. And every time he would come back and see what they made, he goes, "This is nothing like what I wrote." And he's like, "This is not what I want." And he'd be like, "It's going to be. We're going to change the world." And he goes, "No, you're not. It's a piece of shit."
Let's, like this is definitely something that's on like the forefront of my mind because I'm very enveloped in it right now. It took Tolstoy like 30 years to write War and Peace.
Yeah.
This probably took a guy like a week and a half and like a pound of coke.
Exactly, lots of drugs.
I will say this:
Random people coming over
How
his
many
house.
times throughout this movie did I say this has a similar plot, like idea as this show or that show or
Pippin.
another show?
Yeah.
Or
Hair.
Or Hair, Pippin. It has a very similar like plot twist. Like the characters make this journey, and it's very similar. So I feel like John Doe or whoever made this.
Mannheim Globus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoever made this, he really saw like the journey that other characters were taking in movie musicals and just musicals in general, and went and just recopied it, but with a different theme.
Yeah.
I think the story could work, but I think the theme was a little.
The story about these guys has
Strange.
always been like since they were from Israel, that they didn't really understand American nuances or how American people put together movies or even how humans reacted to one another. So they would see other movies and say, "Oh, it's like this part of this movie." You're right, because this movie is essentially it's the kind of Adam and Eve, but it's kind of like this, like you said, like 3 or 4 other plays, and it's like you put them in a blender and it doesn't come out tasting good.
No.
It comes out there.
So, the story is plain and simple. There's turmoil. People take different paths. They come together at the end.
Yeah.
And there's,
And then Jesus comes in his car. It's like every day.
And
These things
a
happen.
1978 Ford LTD coupe, not even a sedan. I mean, when God comes, he will not be coming in a Ford LTD.
Also, I always
He
talk
will
about,
be coming on Angel's Wings. My favorite song, by the way.
oh, they will lift you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun.
And he will raise you up on eagle's wings.
Bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. Those who dwell in the shadow of the night, not the arrow that flies by day.
You know that song?
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It's a Catholic song. I know that and sing to the
First
mountains.
time I heard it sung by a man was last week.
Was it
I
Devin?
know I've never heard it by a man. Last week some guy sang it.
Was it Devin?
I I love that song. It's one of my favorites.
It's a great Catholic song.
It is.
Abba Father's a good one. There's a lot of good Catholic songs.
What's your worst one?
My worst one? Sing to the Mountains is really bad. No, we used to sing it as Sing to the Guppies instead of Sing to the Mountains, and he would scream it at the time. There was always, Pat is right, there's most Catholic songs are sung by really shrill women that have like a register that is in the glass breaking range. And they always do this, they do this move too, where like they want you to sing with them, they'll be like, oh! You're like, no, I can't do that. Come with me! No.
Oh, no, but I
always talk to Becca about, the Joseph Conrad thing, like the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm.
That it goes, and this movie is the hero's journey. It's like this young idealistic person starts with something. They get to the song contest, so they have this big kind of battle in the beginning. He loses everything. He gets an old mentor who is the hippie guy under the thing.
Under the bridge.
Gets her back, and there's a final battle. And then Jesus comes in a car.
There's what?
Then God comes in a car.
He does.
Which has nothing to do with the hero's journey. But it's very close to the hero's journey till then.
One thing I will say, I do love we're looking at the whatever screen this is, and there's the two female leads, and I really did enjoy them.
Yeah.
Overall, their performances were good.
Yeah.
They knew they were in a show where they just had to do something to make themselves look decent, and they did a really good job.
The guy in it, though, I have no idea what accent he has.
He doesn't have one.
It's just all over the place.
He's
Who was your favorite character in the movie, baby?
the black man.
The black man that looks like a snake?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite one?
Well, Glittertooth McGill. I would say I don't know.
I like the dog guy.
The dog guy?
Yeah, the one that's just in the background, and he's
Horn.
This
Oh,
one,
yeah, they were very cool characters.
They didn't get a song.
They couldn't say with them teeth.
That guy who looked like Dumbledore, I thought was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But
He's also the same guy who was the guy that comes at the end. They're both the same actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Josh Ackland.
So, Dumbledore was Jesus.
Mm.
He
And
has on his BIM hat.
Interesting.
BIM.
But, yeah, these two women who were the leading roles, I thought they did a really good job with
What
they had. And, they had a small scene where they both had a little overlapping...
Their song that they sang together.
Their
when she
little
left.
song that overlapped
That was
together.
probably the best song in it.
It was, and they actually sang decently together, and it sounded nice. I don't know what they said, nor do I.
Could you imagine
but
if
it was interesting to see.
It's someone that went to school to be an actor. If you got your big break,
Would you want to be in
went
this?
the whole way to Germany, and you found out, I'm in the Apple.
Oh, they filmed this in Germany?
Yeah. All the people in it, the crowd extras, were foreign exchange students from America.
So they really did get paid $38 for this
Yeah.
shooting.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
What does A stand for?
A?
A.
The Apple.
No. You're not going with it.
What?
A is for awesome.
A is for awesome.
P is for...
Penis,
Pimple!
Penis mark.
Another P.
Is for
Polly.
Pauline.
Pollyanna.
L is for
Loose.
LeMay.
LeMay.
Loose.
E is for
Excellent.
Excellent.
So what's that
The
spell?
apple.
What's that spell?
The apple.
Do you know this movie was just foreseeing a world where everybody had apples all over their clothing, wearable technology.
It's true.
And this movie was warning us about iPads, which we're recording on the show now.
Exactly.
Which means, in the future you will have to restart everything
Yeah.
a couple times a week. Yeah.
You have to wear a sticker.
If anything bad
We
happens...
said it at our Labor Day party. We said this a while ago. The first time we said this, we're making everyone wear BIM stickers to that Labor Day party.
Oh.
We should do a showing of this where we project it on the side of the house,
Uh-huh.
and then just make everybody wear BIM stickers after.
Yeah, you have to dress up like a character.
What if I wore one to work on Monday and just didn't say anything?
If you wore any of that, you'd be fired.
I would be wearing something like this.
You'd be that
that'd
glitter
be in
one
like this and just pull
with
it
the
up as
butt out.
tight as I can.
To the beam.
Just come in with like one of those,
And a glitter sticker.
just the cod piece.
Yeah.
Just like a bejeweled, like
I can
nut
make you
sack.
one.
Well, I think if we went to the Joanne Fabrics, we
Yes.
could get some fabric and some of those spiky things.
Yeah.
Like a spiky crotch
bag.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like
Cod
there's
piece.
spikes
You
coming
just
out of
wouldn't be
it.
able to sit down.
Like
I'd have to get a little bit of.
We could make it look like a
manscaping.
piranha.
Yeah.
A piranha
Yeah,
spiky
like
mouth.
It would be like a snake head, like the black eye head. But instead of a tongue, I would just paint my meat red.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I would be like, what are you wearing? And I'd be like, I'm not wearing anything.
I'm wearing dick.
I'm wearing dick. Do you think a lot of people got chafed making the apple?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they got chafed in their nose holes from all the coke they were doing.
Exactly. They don't have noses anymore.
They
The
couldn't.
middles all fell out.
This movie was all about powder, both cocaine and then that. What's that powder you put in your crotch?
Talcum powder.
Talcum
HPV?
powder.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was before HPV. This movie is actually HPV was invented. This was
I think this
because
movie single-handedly started AIDS.
yeah, that was my favorite part. Where they were all saying that one scene in Hell. You said it didn't happen yet, but you can see AIDS all around.
A is for animals from Africa giving people AIDS.
Yes.
That's what it means.
A green monkey was fucked
P
during
is
the
for
rat party.
The human papillomavirus. Or however you
P
say
is
it.
for the P in HPV.
Yeah. L is for
Lord help us.
Lord, yeah, let's not
Lord,
get sick.
drive your car down and save this movie.
E is for,
Everyone's going to die.
yeah, everyone's going
Do you think when people that didn't make the movie, like, or like someone that like was so excited they were in it and they brought their parents to the theater for the premiere,
and their parents
were sitting there and that car just showed up at the end and they're like,
I'm leaving.
"Yeah, this is why I paid for you to go to NYU or wherever." They
Oh, I don't think these people went to those places.
No.
No,
They went to
Point
School
Park.
Craft
Was this
College.
something like where you had one of your teachers at Point Park and they're like, "I did a few movies," and you look up on IMDb and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah, were any of your
Yep.
teachers ever in movies?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Sound of Music and The Showboat. My voice teacher was in the musical Showboat on Broadway for many years. Shan't say names because they're locals.
Alfie, where are you now? Will I ever see your face again? You tried to set me free, knowing all along your love was no match for their evil. You came after me. Oh, Alfie, wish that I were dead. I'd rather die than know that I.
So we're back.
Yeah.
We just left off with just listening to
Some banter.
some banter. What would you give this movie?
I give it an A for the apple.
Yeah,
I give it a B for the apple.
I give it like a B minus
Yeah,
because like I can't give it an A. I mean it's shitty,
I know, but
but it's also awesome.
but it makes me happy.
Yeah, like, I can't be sad watching this.
No.
What would you give this movie on a letter grade scale?
A, B, C, or D?
I'd give it an A for effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A for effort.
F for execution.
A big fudge for execution.
Yeah.
Enjoyability, I'd give it a B.
Yeah, like it's not.
It's enjoyable.
It's like it's a horrible movie, but you like don't
It's
mind
enjoyable.
watching it. Like yeah, it's great. It's not boring.
No. It kept my attention. I thought some of the actors really did show promise. Where
Never
they
to
went,
be heard from again.
where they went after this.
They went to their
Finola
dealer.
Hughes
That's
is in
where
it.
they went.
And she was later in Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, I love that movie. Who was in that?
Finola Hughes, the one who
Okay.
plays the girl in it, where he has like the devil dance with in it.
Yeah.
Very similar to The Apple. They're very similar movies.
Staying Alive was also not a great movie, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
When it comes to, 70s and 80s dance movies, I will always love the one that was made right here in Pittsburgh.
Fame.
A Flashdance.
No,
Good old
Flashdance.
Flashdance.
Yeah.
It's a one,
Shot by Adrian Lyne.
Yeah.
also not a great movie overall, but, the dances are amazing, and Cynthia Rhodes, her dance sequences were amazing. What's her nuts?
Jennifer Beals.
Her dance, pieces were amazing. But yeah, I do love that movie. It has a nice little spot in my heart.
You think Xanadu's better than Apple, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Xanadu.
Do you think?
Xanadu.
I think Flash Gordon's better than Apple too.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You never seen Flash Gordon?
You have to watch it.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
You
much
really
about
should watch it.
Okay.
It's like, so imagine someone made Star Wars, and
But
instead of making
like
Star Wars,
this.
they like this, and just there's glitter everywhere.
And the outfits are to die for.
Yeah, and every line is screamed at the camera at the top of people's lungs. It's like the most over-the-top movie that's ever been made.
It's my favorite.
Well, I would say I grew up on Xanadu. After I watched Grease for the first time and I learned who Olivia Newton-John was, I decided I wanted to be her. So I researched every movie she was ever in, and I found out that Xanadu was a movie. Picture me, age 8. I loved Xanadu. I wanted nothing more than to be Kira. One of the daughters.
Starring Pittsburgh's own Gene Kelly.
Gene Kelly was in that movie. And you know what?
And
He
Fred
was
Astaire.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And Olivia Newton-John and Gene Kelly did this wonderful
Oh,
dance
the roller
number.
skate dance? Yeah.
Well, no, not the roller skate dance, but the dance inside his home.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Whenever you're away from me, wherever you go. It was fantastic. Like, beautiful. And the choreography was great, and it's a good, overall, entertaining movie.
I think
This was not.
I think Xanadu, unfortunately, had the same problem as this, or Can't Stop the Music, the Village People movie I told you about. It's like, they're like, this was going to last forever because everybody was on coke.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like, 2 weeks later, they're like, no, it's not.
No, but I thought, like, Xanadu overall had a pretty interesting, like, theme and idea. It brought, like, Greek mythology into current art theology, and it was interesting. You know, I thought it was, as an 8-year-old, thought it was much deeper than it really was.
It's a great. Like, I saw it probably when I was like 10 or 11 because it was one of the 10 movies that HBO had. Flash Gordon, Sharky's Machine. I'm trying to think what other movies they had at the time. Leonard Part 6. They had this. They didn't have the Apple. God, I wish they had.
Well,
But you know what I mean? Like HBO, like kids don't understand today. Like I can see any movie I want to anytime I want to now. HBO, you're like, this is all we got. We got these 10 movies. We're gonna play the fuck out of them until next month.
I remember the first week we got.
If you had HBO.
If you had
Right.
HBO, sometimes you just had to flip around until you saw a picture.
I remember the first time we were able to get satellite television, whenever it was even available to where I grew up, which was probably like 94, 95. They had a marathon on the Disney Channel of all the sequels of the Parent Trap.
Yeah,
So there was like Parent Trap 3, Parent Trap 4, Parent Trap 5, like, you know, Holiday in Hawaii with Barry Bostwick and those 3 girls.
Who was in Megaforce and
triplets.
Rocky
And
Horror
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
and George Washington.
Yes. So I remember, you know, having that at my disposal for the first time in like 95.
I love those.
It was fascinating.
I would like
me.
to find those Parent Trap sequels.
Parent Trap
Oh, me
sequels?
too. Me too.
The one with the triplets.
Mm-hmm. They were gorgeous.
And Haley Mills is in it too.
Oh.
Yeah, she was in all
All of
5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
I've never seen the Parent
Except for
Trap.
the Lindsay Lohan.
The original, you never saw it?
No, I never
It's
saw it.
amazing.
No.
Let's
Yes.
get together.
I've seen some
yeah,
very
yeah,
horrible
yeah.
Disney movies though.
We can
Like, 'cause
have
Disney in the
some
70s made like all these action movies. Like
Well-
Condor Man. Have you ever seen it?
No.
The guy
of
who
course
played
not.
the Phantom of the Opera, most famous one.
Oh, Michael Crawford.
Mike Crawford. He plays a comic book artist.
On my playlist, he's the one who sings On Eagle's Wings.
Oh, wow. Right now.
Yeah, Devin listens
So
to
here's how
music.
the podcast works. Right now, I'm going to play a sample of that. Like, I will add it to the podcast after that. So when you listen to this for real,
You'll hear
right
Michael
now,
Crawford.
you'll hear Michael Crawford sing behind us probably as we're talking.
Yes.
It'll be like quiet in the background.
It is now 12:30. We've got a 10:30.
Like we were driving to visit family, and after the theme song for Dallas came on Eagles Wings, I'm like, we're at church now.
Oh, so
Going 80.
my favorite playlist that I have, it has like 120 some songs on it, and it does include the theme songs from Dynasty, Dallas, Knots Landing, my favorite, and it is shortly followed by On Eagles.
That Friday night lineup, you had all those like CBS had Knots Landing, they had Falcon Crest,
Yes.
and Dallas. They were killing it in the 80s.
They were the best shows. I remember, when I was maybe 2 or 3 years old, I'd be in my bedroom, and like on a Friday night, I'd hear the bum, ba, ba, dum, bum, and I would like run to the living room, and I'd like sit down and like, oh. Like, what's going on now? Who's doing who now? What's going on?
But you know what's crazy?
What's going on that cul-de-sac?
I was like I was like 9 when JR got shot, when that big thing happened, and like there will never be another TV event. Like, there's nobody watches the same show anymore. People are kind of, but like the whole world stopped. Like, I remember there was an hour-long Entertainment Tonight about it, just trying to figure out who it was. It was in the it was his his ex-wife.
Well, that happened before I was born, but I remember, like, my grandmother talking about it, my mom talking, who shot JR, like, oh, it's another who shot JR moment.
They shot multiple versions of it, too, because a lot of the actors and actresses didn't even know which one they were going to use.
Yep.
Until they had it.
Anyway, spill the beans.
Dallas was huge until the whole Bobby in the shower thing.
Bobby in the shower?
Because, like, next to last season, like, Bobby got killed, and, like, people were Patrick Ewing.
Mm-hmm.
And people were... Patrick Duffy, not the basketball player Patrick Ewing. Patrick Duffy, the man from Atlanta. He got shot and he got killed and he was gone for a season. And Pam, in the last episode of that season, wakes up. She goes in the shower and opens it, and Bobby's in the shower, and he goes, "You look like you've seen a ghost." And they went backwards and rewound the whole season and just said that whole last season you watched it never.
They hated
it. It never happened.
It was all a dream.
It was
Kelly
all
Ewing's entire dream.
Yeah. So that's how Roseanne ends. Because the last episode of Roseanne, like, do you know about that?
Yes.
Where Dan was dead and she had just looked. It's the shittiest ending to a show, I think. It upsets me so much.
The best ending to a show, we will both attest to, is 6 Feet Under.
Oh, yeah, that's the greatest ending, yeah.
What happened? I don't watch
Well,
that
6
either.
Feet Under.
You need to watch it.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but it sums up everybody's life in one fell swoop.
Better ending than anything I ever saw.
Yeah.
I only watched the beginning of it, the very
except
beginning.
for, what happens to everybody except for the girl, and she drives off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great ending. St. Elsewhere's a good ending, too.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's all inside this snow globe that this little kid is playing with, and he shakes it. And Timmy Westfall's his name. He shakes it, and you see the building with all the people in it, and it's all in his head.
Oh, fantastic.
It was at a hospital, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's the crazy thing because it crossed over so many shows like Cheers and other shows crossed over. All those shows, do those shows exist in this kid's head too?
Probably.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, because like Wings crosses over. It was a good show. The last MASH is pretty good.
Oh, MASH was fantastic.
Yeah.
When the helicopter leaves and...
Yeah, they have the thing written.
My mother loved MASH. I've seen every episode multiple times.
And
go ahead.
The worst one, the end of Dinosaurs, is a really bad one. If you've ever seen it.
Remember Dinosaurs? They were like the family.
Yeah. The dad causes the ice age, and they're waiting inside the house for it to stop snowing, and they're like, "Think it's gonna stop?" And he's like, "I don't think so." And that's the ice age, and they all die.
Okay, bye.
And it's like been a huge show up to and the end of Alf's bad too. Like Alf gets kidnapped by the government, and that's where the show ends. Like they didn't resolve it for like 5 years after that.
Can we talk about this? Is a very very serious thing that I'm very passionate about. For some reason, Knots Landing is not available to be seen in the United States.
I even went to iOffer to see if I could get it for you.
Except for the first 2 seasons. And I was able to get some of the episodes on, like, Daily
Motion.
And we were watching an episode. I think we were in season 5.
We were.
And it
going
went
through
dead.
They pulled it.
So immediately I went to, Google, and I said, what the H is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was all this hubbub about, like, how Dailymotion had to pull this footage from this person who was feeding it from the UK. Because right now, in the UK, they have all the episodes streaming through SoapNet.
Oh, okay.
In the United States,
Does
it's
that
not
mean
available.
could someone download it for you from your friends that live over there?
Well, that's what was happening. They were, filming
The hard
it.
part is in England they have PAL,
Mhm.
not NTSC, so the TVs are different.
Mhm.
So even if you wanted to get tapes or something, it'd be hard to transfer them and
Right.
stuff.
So they were like, essentially like DVRing them or whatever they were doing and putting them out there on Dailymotion for them to be watched by whoever wanted. And they had to be shut down by the U.S., whoever is in control of
But
that.
that's the thing is, like, if they're not going to put them out on DVD or put them on somewhere, they're not making any money off it.
They're not making money.
Yeah.
So
if they put them out on DVD, I'm sure you'd buy them. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would learn how to put a DVD player and connect it to my television because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
But for that show, I would learn how to do it.
Speaking of someone that bought 13 seasons of Murder, She Wrote for their wife. I mean, look, see that second shelf there?
The
That's
white
all
part?
the white ones. Those are all Murder, She Wrote. Because, like, I was in the store
Where's
and
my picture?
it's in your bag in your room. It's on your counter in your room. But, like, she's like, do you think we could buy these? We were in the half-price books. I'm like, yeah, I guess. And I turn around and she had, like, this unwieldy stack. I had, like, one movie. Like, maybe I'll buy this. She's like, I'm getting all of them. I'm like, okay. She got checked out by this girl was dressed like a fairy that checked her out. And this girl's like, I can't believe I have to get all these out of the
Move
thing.
your fairy
And
ass
she's
and get 'em.
like, get my fucking DVDs. We're getting out of here. Oh, yeah. That guy is, people can't see this.
She's lovely.
She's showing off her Jessica
Yeah.
Fletcher. Did we ever show you the video of her playing with herself in the bathtub? It's on the
Not me.
No, not my wife. On the
That one's not
found
out.
footage festival DVDs I have. They have
She put out an exercise.
she put an
video.
exercise video,
You know
and
those
she talks
found
about
footage ones we watch?
when you get done doing exercise.
You should go get in the shower.
You should get
with
a thing. She goes,
yourself.
it's important for old people to rediscover their sexuality. And then
And she's
threw-
in the bathtub, like putting lotion. It's like they're sticking up out of the water, and she's like.
That said,
naked.
she was a dancer, so she has really nice.
Angela Lansbury is a Tony Award-winning actress.
Yeah.
And to know, I never knew that she did that, but that's kind of sad. That she put
I'm sorry
out
that I had to
She
do
says,
the
I
one.
like lotion.
I bet she does, because her old, dried-out Vahoo. It needs the lotion, I'm sure.
You know what we discovered going back? Not a spoiler for our podcast on Murder, She Wrote. There's a lot of dudes in Jessica Fletcher's life. Like every
She's an
episode's
old
about.
She
lady.
has different love.
Every
Interests.
episode's like old crusty dudes trying to get up on her.
Yeah.
Well, good, because she's got an old, crusty one.
Well, her
I
husband
need some-
died. Her husband died when she was like 40.
Do you
So
know what the
she wasn't even
stands
through the
for
change
in
yet.
J.B. Fletcher. Beatrice.
BJ. Oh,
BJ.
BJ. Jessica. What's that was her name. What's the BJ Fletcher? Is that her name?
No.
she's so-
And then I was telling him about a wonderful TV movie. It was either on ABC. I think it was on Lifetime, and then they put it on ABC a long time ago. It was with her, and it was called Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Did you ever see that?
No, I have not seen that. What's it about?
You can't even find it anymore. I think it is on YouTube, maybe. But
Yeah, there's a French version of it on YouTube, and it has
she's
Israeli subtitles.
great.
Oh, goodness.
She's she's a maid in England, and she works for this lady, a wealthy woman, and she goes in her bedroom to clean it, and she sees these two like beautiful gowns hanging in there, and she's just like in awe. So she asks the lady, and she says, "Well, they're both from France. They're new Dior, like it's in the 1950s or
Right.
40s." And she says, "I'm going to wear one of them to a party tonight." She's like, "Well, why don't you pick out which one I wear?" So she picked it out, and she decided that she had been saving all her life savings for something big, and she wanted a Dior dress. So she goes to Paris to buy one, and she's like a crummy-looking English woman, and they won't wait on her. They won't give her the time of day, even though she has all the money.
Yeah, some pretty women.
It is, and she befriends the model in the show and the accountant for Dior, and they take her on like a whirlwind trip of Paris, and they, spoiler alert, they get her dress. But it's like, oh, and she has a dream, and everyone's there. You would bawl your eyes out.
I'm already getting kind of...
That's so sad. And like when they tell her that she can't, because they end up doing everything in secret because you can't just buy one and take it with you. You have to get it fitted and all this stuff. So they would sneak her in, and even the lady who runs the showroom helped her. And it was the guy in charge. He didn't want her there because she was riffraff. And they help her get her dress. And at the end, in her dream, even her dead husband's there. You can't watch it. You'll die.
Speaking of riffraff, what do you think about the Rocky Horror Live thing they're doing on Fox?
Well, why don't you tell them about the live one we went to in Dormont?
Tim Curry's going to be the narrator instead of...
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but instead of being, what do you call it?
Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
I was just telling Becca outside how... I had made a comment years ago to my mother about her brother, my uncle, who I think is most likely homosexual. His wife for many years, my Aunt Deb, they're now divorced. And after watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I was like, Mom, did you ever realize that Frankenfurter looks like my Aunt Deb? And she's like, wow, that makes so much sense now. Why your uncle was married to her. Because the Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of his favorite movies, my uncle's favorite movies. So,
she does look like her. You show me pictures.
So we went
the teeth and everything.
We went to
mostly the teeth.
We went to see Phantom of Paradise. Did you ever see that? It's a musical.
It's another one like this.
It's like this. Brian De Palma did it. It's like
okay,
but
so
it's
probably
it's a lot better. It's better than the Apple. It's as weird as the Apple though. It's kind of
the same idea. His face gets...
It's like Family Opera, but like a rock musical.
He
but
gets
Paul Williams did all the music
smushed
for
with
it.
a record press, so the sides burn, so they keep them...
The music's much better, too. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that as a second movie with these guys.
I know.
But we
really
went
good.
to the Hollywood Theater because
they were playing
Zach's other band played before it.
Okay.
And so we went to see it, and we didn't know that they were going to have actors acting it out. She got so mad she left like a little bit
When I tell you, and I'll say this again, I think I told you about this. Remember me telling you about them letting special ed people take their clothes off in front of everyone?
No.
So, and I know that we can't bleep it out, but I know that he has participated in these. So all I can think of is I'm just worried about that person.
So
I know that he's been in groups like this. But anyways, they had like literally people with Down syndrome with their tits hanging out, singing and dancing on stage. I'm not even kidding you. I was so upset and disturbed that I left. And I said, I'm leaving. And he's trying to talk me out of it. No, stay here. It's almost over. Like, we're going to leave in a minute. I said, no, bye.
It was like a Rocky Horror Show, like, reenactment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense with this movie.
Imagine just crummy kids from like Dormont surrounding areas coming and like
with
being
Rocky
half
Horror
dressed.
itself isn't an exciting movie. You need all that stuff to do it. Do you know what I mean? And
But it's fun. Like, that's
it's fun.
This wasn't fun.
But Phantom of Paradise
upset.
is like a really visually dynamic movie, so it's hard to have a lot of people moving around too. But yeah, it was weird.
And it was just...
I mean, I've gone to like some
There were
Rocky
people
Horror...
with hearing aids performing. There was people with... And I'm not saying people with disabilities shouldn't be pursuing their dreams, but they don't need to be shaking it up on stage. So all I wanted to do was call their parents and say, do you know what your child's involved in? Because there was definitely one that was like the leader, and he was much older, and I feel like it was a pedophilic situation. And there was just stuff going on, and I couldn't be there.
She said to me, I'm going to see all this in 48 hours.
I am. I said, one of these kids is going to end up in a ditch. Down behind Fury's.
She was so
and then
Down
The
behind
peanut butter.
Fury's.
Yeah.
No, so, like, a lot of the fun of Rocky Horror is the participation.
Yeah.
I
It
get
really
that,
is.
but this is...
But it was weird and strange.
Yeah.
Well, that's different. I went to a really amazing...
It wasn't even like, going to a drag show or something, or doing something like that where you somebody might feel uncomfortable. This was like literally like, I can't be here. There's going to be murders. There's going to be murders and there's going to be human sacrifice. And these people are being taken advantage of. I can't be here.
I went to a really fascinating, like a really good participation Rocky Horror Show thing, probably like well over 10, 12 years ago. It was actually at Clarion University.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Mm-hmm. And it was so fun. Like, you went in and, like, you got your little bag of all the things that you need.
It wasn't even like that where the professional ones that you've seen on TV that people go to. This was the opposite.
The first time
this was someone with cardboard and sequins.
The first time I went was in L.A., this big theater. And they do totally different stuff in L.A. Like, instead of throwing toast, they throw burrito shells.
Burrito.
And there was, like, UFOs, like, and burritos flying in the air. It was fun. This was, like, 95.
Well, that's a cultural twist, isn't it?
Yeah, it's, like, different in every city.
That's a shame.
When I was a kid growing up, I actually had because my mom loves Rocky Horror. I had a tape. This is how sad it is. A cassette tape of the movie being played with an audience doing all the sounds.
No way.
Yeah, that came out. So that's how because there was nowhere in Pittsburgh that showed it, and I was 12 or 13, growing up in Elwood City, and it wasn't like I'd be like, let's go see Rocky Horror. Like, who's gonna go with me?
No one.
Favorite song from Rocky Horror?
Hot Patootie, Bless My Soul. I like Science Fiction Double Feature too.
My favorite is There's a Light.
Oh, I like that.
Over at the Frankenstein place. That's my favorite.
Actually, my favorite one is the one Frankenfurter sings before he gets shot.
On the day I went away.
Goodbye was
Sorry
all
that
I
Pat and I
had to
sing.
say. I sing it all the time because it's a good song.
Yeah.
That's the one where you throw greeting cards. And he's like, cards for sorrow, cards for pain.
Cards for sorrow, cards for pain.
And at the end, he climbs up like King Kong, the RKO tower. At the end. Oh, it's
and
great.
then he falls.
Yeah.
And dies.
Yeah, because Riff Raff has a great line there too, and he's like, I expected nothing, and he goes, then you'll get it in abundance.
In abundance.
It's a great line. It's like one of my favorite lines of the whole thing. Riff Raff's in Flash Gordon.
Is he?
Yeah, he plays one of Prince Baron's men, played by Timothy Dalton. Like, Flash Gordon's full of, like, British actors being way over the top.
Ooh, what is the song that Barry Bostwick sings in Rocky Horror? I'm forgetting it right now. It's after he gets a...
Damn It, Janet?
No, it's right after he gets the BJ from... What's his name?
Oh.
Damn.
I can't remember what one.
I can't remember what it is either.
I like the Meatloaf song a lot, though, because it's, like, that whole scene's pretty cool, and I like how that's put together. There's a lot of good songs in it, though. It's a
really good show, and, like, in a stage version, it really holds up to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
a good performance.
Yeah, but when done by,
no,
you know, people who are unintelligible.
That was very sad.
She was really upset because she
was
loves.
fun to call all their moms. Tell them to come get their kids. I wanted to call the police. I feel like I had been wronged.
Was it in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it was at the Hollywood.
In Dormont.
It was like when the lady tried to...
corner from breakfast.
I always say whenever somebody's mom gets involved, when we were kids, we were going into a Hills at Northway Mall. There used to be a Hills there. And some lady almost hit us with her car. And my mom was walking with us. And she screamed at my mom, "Are you the mother of these children? Are you the mother?" And she just kept screaming at her. My mom's like, "Yes!" And I'm like, I don't want to be here for this fight. My mama was protecting us.
Yeah.
Cool. Well.
I found the song that I was thinking of.
What was it?
Once in a while, you don't want to know me. It's that, I don't know, it's strange, but I like that song a lot. From Rocky Horror.
I think it's good. Have you ever seen the sequel to Rocky Horror, Shock Treatment?
I've never.
It just has the same.
I didn't know it exactly.
It's the same actors, but it's about a TV station, and it's really weird. Tim Curry's on it.
Is it like Soap Dish?
No, it's not as good as Soap Dish. It's not very good. But it was like a big deal when it came out. That it was like because originally they were going to make a totally different Rocky Horror with all the same characters, even the people that died coming back and just starting it again. And Richard O'Brien didn't want to do it, so
that would be
kind of weird.
The way that it was left, it should have been left.
It's fine the way it is. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to even know it.
I always tell her about this. I hate most sequels aren't good. Dropping the deuce, as they say.
Dropping the deuce.
Even worse are prequels.
I mean, Beethoven's Second was pretty phenomenal.
That was good.
Other than the Look Who's Talking
Debbie
movies,
Mazar.
Look Who's Talking now is better than Look Who's Talking. I mean, we can all admit it.
Halloween 2 is my favorite.
Yeah. Empire Strikes Back is better.
I mean, Grease 2 was pretty phenomenal too. I mean, Stephanie Zanoni.
Yeah.
I mean, between her and Olivia Newton-John.
And look at The Purge. The third one was
the
best.
The third Purge was better than the first two.
Okay, so there was that Purge screening that happened last week.
Yeah.
Did you guys go see it?
No, we saw it this week at the theaters.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But I heard it was really interesting, and I know nothing.
Yeah, it was good. So it's in the future, like there's one night a year.
Did you ever see the other one?
No.
So there's one night a year from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
But all crimes.
You can do any crime you want to.
And then the previous ones, it's in the future, so government people who are called a level 10 or higher are off limits. You can't kill them. But anybody below that can be killed. But think about it, all the rich people and stuff, they can lock themselves in their house and pay for all this extra security.
It's basically an excuse to kill minorities and wipe out homeless people.
I like it. Let's do it.
And then this one, like, all these people come from... There's all this tourism that comes to the U.S. so they can participate. Like, all these people come from, like,
Germany and stuff, so they can participate.
And they're, like, all dressed like Uncle Sam, like, all... Because it's, like, Halloween. Like, everybody dresses up and goes out and kills people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do we have to do?
So they don't steal things, they don't try and gain things.
So we know,
that's why that post I posted the other day.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why people didn't
Trump was going to make the purge happen.
So I looked fly when it was over. What?
The purge happens if Donald Trump gets elected.
Yeah.
I think we can admit this.
Yeah.
Trump. Trump's my man. I'll take his tan. I love that man. Says it like it is. He's such a cool guy.
I thought you were going to say
He's crazy as fuck, but
he is a crazy person. But you know what? I'll take crazy over
what's going on.
Pussy bullshit.
Yeah.
Any day.
Yeah. We like our presidents with bad hair.
Bad hair, a tan like mine. I like him.
He looks like me.
He wants to fuck his daughter. He's president.
Yes.
Well,
she's only half it.
I mean, I don't give a shit who he throws his winger into, but
winger.
He can put it in wherever he wants. If it's his daughter, people put it in their daughters all the time.
Yeah.
Hello.
I know.
Tales of
We're in Pennsylvania.
I know.
That shit happens.
Pennsylvania. We are the most southern state in the north. And you will see more rebel flags here. From growing up here, like, all DV plays is Southern Rock. Like, I know more Southern Rock than anybody.
I do like some Southern Rock.
There's some good Southern Rock.
I like Alabama.
Yeah. I like Molly Hatchet. There's a lot of Southern
Molly
Rock.
Hatchet, didn't she make a flag or something?
I should name some Southern Rock names and see
Never knows who
which
they are.
ones. Yeah, no, he knows them.
Do you know that band Dirty Dungaree? They're great.
I should make up a few, see if he gets them if they're made up or real.
Oh, let's do it.
Union Trucks.
Made up.
Yeah, it's made up. Leonard Skinner.
That's real.
Eagle Claw.
That sounds like it could be real, but it's probably made up.
Oh, it's made up. It's a kind of fishing hook.
Eagle Claw. That sounds like what I do when I don't cut my toenails. So like eagle claws.
I can't think of any other stuff.
Dirty Mumford.
Dirty Mumford. I'll make up hipster sex positions. Oh, she gave me a Dirty Mumford. Oh.
Probably a band somewhere.
Yeah.
That's going to be my next band name.
Dirty Mumford.
Dirty Mumford. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Dirty Mumford.
I don't even know what that is. And I don't care to find out.
No.
It's like on that episode of Parks and Rec where the guy was sending all his dick pics around.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, this penis has the mumps.
Measles, mumps,
so
and rubella.
they were going to
Yeah.
fire the guy, but she didn't want him fired because he obviously had the mumps because of how his balls looked. So she had to send him a letter and they had to send him to the doctor. So they thought that would stop it, and everybody started sending her dick pics to ask him, well, do I have the mumps too? Just because they wanted to send her dick pics. It's a great episode. It
Sounds like something from 30 Rock.
yeah, that show's a lot like it. It's pretty fun.
I like
Well, you know,
30 Rock
Amy
a lot.
Poehler, Tina Fey.
Yeah.
Very similar people. And
I think I like Amy Poehler better though.
We were talking about the end of 30 Rock's a great last episode too.
yeah, it makes sense. It
What
sums
happened?
everything up.
Oh, I never saw the end.
Jack Donnie goes on a boat trip for about 30
and
seconds.
then comes back and he's like, see-through dishwashers.
Yeah, see the dishwasher's the future.
Thank God I took that boat trip.
That whenever he attacks, like he uses all the Six Sigma stuff to go through to how to be happy.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, he has a three-way with Salma Hayek and his wife, and he's like, he does all this stuff that should be like, gives like $1 million to charity. He does all this stuff, and he's still not happy. So he realizes like he worked his whole life to get this job, and then once he got it and he was successful, like he didn't want it anymore. And then like Tracy runs away to the strip club again, like he always does. It's awesome. And then the best part's the end whenever she comes, like spoilers if you haven't seen it, but like how her granddaughter comes and Kenneth is still like 20 years old, and she tells him, and that's what the story's about. He goes, oh great.
I love how Jen Krakowski is singing the Rural Jawrow song.
Oh, that song's amazing.
It's hilarious. Oh shit, how's it go?
I just never watched that.
We should watch it. You'd like it.
I remember an old boss of mine, whenever the show was, you know, actually happening on TV, she was like, oh my gosh, this show is so funny, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But at the time, like, we were going to D's every night, so I didn't
Yeah.
watch television.
Yeah.
And
Whatever happened to her?
she's still working at
It's shocking that, you know what, that show lasted 5 years though. I mean, that's pretty long for...
It was seven
Se-
series.
seven series?
Seven
Wow.
seasons.
Jessica Lansbury's got them beat.
But it's a pretty smart show to last that long. Like most,
Yeah. But it's somewhere, I think, in one of the first seasons, Jen Krakowski is like doing an off-Broadway show called the Rural Juror.
Yeah. And no one can pronounce it properly.
The Rural Juror.
Rara Jara.
And at the end of this show, like the last episode of TGS, the show that they do.
The show within the show.
Yeah. She's singing the hit song from the musical
Rural
version
Juror.
of The Rural Juror. And it's really funny. It's really entertaining. And it's like, you know, really upbeat, fun song. It's cute.
I like when she's like, she kept saying all the things she was going back to. She's like, I don't need you people anymore. I'm going to be on Law and Order. And then she was just a dead body. And Ice-T's in it, and he's like, oh, I can't believe they killed this girl. She's like, I'm still alive. And oh my god, I have psychic powers. I'm a psychic cop now. I'm on the show now. And he's like, no, you're not. And they're like,
this is bullshit.
yeah,
And then
Munch
just,
and
like, walk
him
off.
are just yelling at her, like, screw this. And they just
That's
walk
what
off
he
the
always
show.
says.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
How about her love affair?
Oh, with, yeah.
Who is a, you know,
Guy that dresses like her.
the guy who is a...
It's what's his name from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. He's a
Will
female
Forte.
impersonator.
He's a female impersonator, and he wants to be her.
So he impersonates her, so her ego attracts her to him, and it's like so strange and so funny.
They have this like weird, crazy sex life. It's really funny. It's just like, but you know what's funny is like all the shit on that about Tracy Morgan's character had like a Shark Tank and all that.
Yeah.
That stuff's all true. Like he really does have a Shark Tank like that. Like he's that nuts. Like 'cause she said like all she could do was rate the stuff she knew about him and put him on the show because like that's how he is. So that's what I there's so many. The thing I like about that show, Parks and Rec, the same way, and like Cheers and shows like that is like if you get a show that has there's like 12 awesome characters on this show. Like you could do a whole show of 30 Rock with just Jack in it, and he's the only character in the whole episode. Or like the last scene with them talking, whenever he's telling her that they're friends and that's what this was all about. Like that scene's awesome. Like it's like a really dramatic scene.
Yeah.
And then, but like you could do a whole Kenneth episode, and that's all it is. There's like so many good characters on that show that like it could just like they could do 5 more seasons of it and you probably wouldn't get sick of those characters. It's good that they ended it, I think, when they did, but you don't get like a good show. Like you don't get pissed whenever. Do you know what I mean? You can do
it's
so
really
much.
funny. Like shows like that that's a very smart show. Like every line is a new joke.
Yeah,
and I don't think a lot of people get it.
Yeah, it's like it's so, but it's so rapid fire. Yeah.
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Can we go on that tangent for a second?
Yeah.
Because it is so rapid fire and it's so funny. People just like didn't get it.
Yeah. But there's stuff that happens on it, like all those blue handprints show up in the second season way before you find out that he's doing the Blue Man Group.
Correct.
And like you see them and you don't know why they're in there. And then you almost have to watch it in weird order.
Exactly.
And then when you go back, like when Dave Thomas was in it, and they had like all the secret agent stuff, that stuff makes more sense after you've seen it and you rewatch it, and especially the stuff with the kid that they adopt.
On Young,
yeah,
Hello?
Yeah, and like all that stuff's like, oh fuck, okay, now I get it. But you could watch it 100 times and still find stuff. But I don't know if people want to put that much effort into shows anymore. But I think I've watched them all like 4 or 5 times.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah.
I love that show because it is by far one of the smartest things I've ever watched on television.
Yeah.
However, that thing they did with Netflix for that 4th season, granted there were some funny parts, a lot of it was really strange and really weird and it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Also the question is, what's going to happen next?
They're supposedly doing another season for Netflix.
Well, it's been a couple years. Like, what the hell?
But they said that everybody wants to do one.
All I know is I want to be Lucille Bluth when I'm 70.
Oh yeah.
How much could a banana cost, Patrick? $10.
And I've been playing this one game on Xbox, and there's one lot. If you earn enough money in the game, like they name all the achievements you get, and the money achievement is there's always money in the banana stand.
Yes.
See, that's another one. It's like, oh well, that's why he was saying that to him. The one episode where he's in the hot tub and they keep putting all the ramen noodles in the hot tub so he has something to eat when he's going crazy in the upstairs.
When he's in the attic.
Yeah, and he's going nuts upstairs. That episode's great. And then everything after...
It's too hot.
Yeah.
Too hot, Michael.
And everything after what's-his-name loses his hand and has the hook. Like, that shit's amazing. Like, it's so good.
I love all the stuff with Buster.
Yeah.
Anything with Buster and Lucille is pure gold.
All the Mother Boy stuffs. The songs and stuff.
And then... the really funny part from the season 4 Netflix original series, whatever, whenever Lucille's on house arrest and she can't go on the balcony to have a cigarette, so she blows it in Buster's mouth, and Buster has to go blow it out the door.
I haven't seen the 4th season yet.
Oh, it's hilarious. So she's on house arrest, and she's like sitting there smoking a cigarette, and then Buster comes over. Like, and he like runs to the balcony. Mother, stop! You gotta stop.
I think my favorite one.
It's hilarious.
My favorite one is when they have the sexy cops and they're all on the boat, and the dude drops the boombox, and they all just start taking their clothes off.
I think whenever I first saw this show, it was over 10 years ago now. Mm-hmm. I saw the first episode, and like whenever Lucille's like first introduction is, she's like, look what the homosexuals have done to me. And she's like, they're just so dramatic. They just want to make me light myself on fire. I'm like, okay, this is a character I want to be invested in. She's she's funny. She's totally crude, and she's right up my alley.
The other cool thing about that show is like you can still do other stories about them, but like even in the 3 seasons they did, like people actually change enough by the end of the 3rd season, and you even like everybody kind of does make some level of growth. Do you know what I mean? Which is kind of cool, but for better. And plus, Liza Minnelli's in.
With her vertigo.
Yeah, and she's basically he just has another mom.
Yes.
It's the weirdest show. It's another show that's like I was shocked that it lasted a season, much less like that long. And there's so many dumb lines, and I always say the one where he's like, "I'm a therapist and an analysis." I'm really an analrapist.
An analrapist.
Yeah.
Well, those business cards almost got you or something.
Yeah.
The first ever anal rapist.
That, and when he comes out that George Michael is an ever nude, and he like takes his pants off and he has those denim shorts under.
Denim shorts.
Yeah. There's some good shit on that show. I do have a bump. What is it?
You got
Is
it.
it his head?
No.
No, it was. Yeah, that is the other thing you guys have in common. You squeeze the zits of your respective
Yeah, I have
mates.
to check them.
She did one on the podcast, which was frightening. I was screaming.
I did. Yeah, I was looking at them while we were talking. You got one.
She
I
got
got it.
Did you guys have fun doing podcasts?
Yeah.
So you come back and we'll do another movie, maybe.
Of course.
You guys can pick out.
Maybe
something.
Xanadu.
I don't have Xanadu. It's $5 for Blu-ray at the
Oh,
Walmart.
believe me, I probably have that on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, Amazon. I'm
I think
sure I
we
have it
should do
everywhere.
Xanadu. I would watch it.
You know?
Yeah.
Xanadu.
I'm gonna play the music video so we get like that.
Xanadu, Xanadu, your neon nights come true.
Do you guys share like the same movies you like to watch together, or
A lot of them, but
you just like to
I
sleep
like
through
mafia movies.
mafia movies?
That's what we like.
And I
We
do-
like
I
Goodfellas and
Goodfellas.
Casino.
Goodfellas is really good.
Goodfellas, Godfather.
That's because you hung out with them all.
He lived across the street from me.
And
I know.
why can't I think of it? Hell's
Casino.
Kitchen.
Excuse me.
Is it
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen where the little kid grows up next? De Niro's the bus driver. His dad's the bus driver, De Niro. He grows up next to a little mafia bar.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Hell's Kitchen. It might be something else. Remember when the bikers come in?
It is a different movie. I can't remember.
Did you ever see that?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, you have to see it. I'm not going to say anymore because it's really, really good. What the hell's the name of it?
Not Carlito's Way. No.
I thought it was Hell's Kitchen.
It's not Hell's Kitchen. It's something.
It's the name of a neighborhood. In
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't. He drives the bus like backwards in one scene.
Yes.
Like,
and his son falls in love with this real pretty black girl.
yeah, I can't remember what the name of that is. I know which one you're saying.
I love that show.
It was a really good movie, and I can't remember the name.
Way.
And it was not like a huge movie either, like Goodfellas. Like not
Mhm.
everyone knows of it.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely love The Sopranos.
Oh yeah.
Life goal. I want to be Carmela Soprano.
I
So
love
get on-
we like six
Get
feet
on that
under.
project. You know, we need to get that mafia connection going.
Did you guys like Dexter coming out of 6 Feet Under?
I liked it, but
I
it
did like
wasn't.
Dexter.
I didn't like it like I liked 6 Feet or.
He's a really good actor, though. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, 6 Feet and Sopranos are, you know, out of pretty much everything I've ever watched, they're really high up there.
How do you feel about The Sopranos ending, then?
It ended, and it ended.
Yeah.
So,
I think Tony got killed.
Do you?
And remember how Paulie and like Tony would sometimes talk about, you know, like is there light or
Yeah.
Mother Mary
So you-
and all that?
yeah.
At the end, it just goes black.
Mm. I actually like when shows end like that, where you kind of have to think about
what's happening now?
what's happening in them. Yeah.
And I always forget Tony Soprano's real name, but
James Gandolfini.
I felt
God
like
rest
Tony
his soul.
died. I felt bad that.
God rest his soul.
Yeah. He's a good actor. He's actually
he was
really
fantastic.
like really good in a lot of little parts he was
Yeah,
in.
and he played a gay guy in that one.
Oh yeah.
That was a gangster, I guess.
It's a good one.
Yeah. You guys want to sign off where you smoke? We'll finish
We'll
this.
sign off.
Thanks for coming and doing the podcast, guys.
Thank you for having us. Bonsoir.
We'll do it
Go
again.
forth and make peace. Put love in the world.
All right, Becca, sign off.
Bye-bye.
You have to say your line.
We'll see you at the movies.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you, America. That's our show. Not a lot of people watched it, but the joke's on you, because we got paid anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenna Maroney.
The Irma, Lerman, Merman murder. Turn the bird's word lurid, the whir and the purr of a twirler girl. She would the world, word demure. The insurer's a law for valor, what pure carry-wara. One fervent whirl over her turgid error. Royal juror, royal juror. I will never forget you, royal juror. I'll always be glad I met you, royal juror. I forget you, Rural Jura. I'll always be glad I met you, Rural Jura. I will never forget you, Rural Jura. I'll always be glad I met you, Rural Jura. These were the best days of my flirt.